Hello and welcome to another episode of Mole in the Morning and your gaming news. My name is of course ChaosMole and we have the gaming news for Tuesday, October 18th, 2022. There are a lot of follow-up news regarding yesterday topics, if you have been wondering, and of course some new news on the way. And I would say the first news we're jumping immediately into is one of the new news because RiotGames, the creators of League of Legends and some other games, have been buying Wargaming Sydney, the creators of World of Tanks. Now you might say, wait. RiotGames bought Wargaming? No. They bought Wargaming Sydney. Yes. So they basically bought part of the Wargaming Studios, which is a little bit weird. But before we are getting into that, let's just jump into what the two studios have to say about this, right? So Wargaming Sydney will become Riot Sydney, and it will use its considerable expertise to further augment the League of Legends, Valorant, and tech teams at Riot. The studio will be a key contributor to Riot's development studios, organizing under industry veteran and Riot's head of development studio, Molly Mason-Poole. I hope I just pronounced that name right. And under Mason-Poole's leadership, Riot is expecting its approach to global development, and over time Riot is looking forward to growing the game industry in Australia, and will also continue to explore similar opportunities to add expert talent from veteran studios. It's specifically the development team which will be joining Riot, as the publishing team will stay at Wargaming, which makes sense. In a statement, head of development Nareshi Hirani, had what is now called Riot Sydney, said, "Being part of Wargaming has been a phenomenal journey for us over the last 10 years, and it helped our studio to grow and thrive. We are really impressed by the cultural fit we have experienced in our dealings with everyone at Riot, and we can't wait to bring our expertise in global development to the respective teams." So, this is really interesting. I assume that for Wargaming, Australia is not that important anymore. And this is why they probably just said, nah, yeah, you can have it. Like, it's kind of crazy that we have now reached the point in game development where studios buy all other part of studios they don't need anymore. Like, we talked about this multiple times, right? Like, we are living now in an age and in a time where game development is actually becoming rare to hire. And I say rare to hire because there are tons of game developers out there, but they have finally realized that over the past decade and more, game development was a pretty shitty job sometimes. Or a lot of times. Right? Like, people got treated like shit, and the companies just reeked in the money. And now they are like, yeah, we don't want to do that anymore. And there were even a lot of game developers who just left game development. And believe it or not, being a game developer, even though the gaming industry is huge, the world game developers are living in is relatively small in comparison. Like, everyone knows everyone, so to speak. Sometimes people end up to work at that one company, then go to the next company, and then they go back to the company again. Like, moving between companies was always very fluent in the gaming industry. And hiring new people for the game you wanted to create was, even before COVID, a tough thing sometimes. But since COVID hit, and since a lot of people had like a heart-to-heart conversation about where they stand in their job, it got even harder for game studios to find the demand of game developers they need nowadays. And we have seen a lot of publishers just trying to get as many people as possible, right? When they're announcing games years before the release. Like, we know that a new Witcher game is coming. Probably 4 to 5 years before it even releases. Why did they do that? Because they had to get the word out. Because they had to have something on their resume where they can say to the developer, but look, no matter what you're planning to do, you could have on your resume that you worked on a Witcher game. That is still a pretty big boon. Same goes with Tomb Raider, right? When they announced like a few months ago, hey, we are working on a new Tomb Raider, come work with us. Blizzard. Freaking hell, Blizzard, who announced their survival game like half a year ago or something like that. And it was still in the early development phase. Blizzard normally never does that. They had to. They need developers. So that we are now at the point where studios buy just leftover studios because they really need the workers. I mean, Blizzard actually did that. Speaking of which, just a few months ago, with what was it called? Spellbound? Like the BR team or the BR game? Let me see. I think it was Spellbound. No, what was it? Spell. I think it was. Okay, thanks, Windows. I think it was Proletariat, right? Spellbreak. Yeah, Proletariat. Basically, their studio didn't go too well. And they were like, hey, yeah, so let's just, buy those. The game is not running that well anyways. And we need people. we need people. So, yeah, that was like one of the things. So, won't be the last that we are seeing this. I'm just curious why Wargaming basically sold them off. I really assume this was because of, like, they just don't need it, right? Hey, another mic. Good day to you. Like, they just realized that the amount of people playing World of Tanks and all the other World of something games in Australia is maybe not that big, whereas RiotGames has a pretty big position in Australia and Oceanic in general. Even so far, they had some issues in the past. With Oceanic. So, makes sense. All right. Oh boy. So, Warner Brothers Games has been trying to pull a Diablo, so to speak. They have announced that they are releasing a new Mortal Kombat. And you're like, wait, what? Yeah, Mortal Kombat Onslaught. Wait, not Mortal Kombat 11. No, because Mortal Kombat Onslaught is a mobile RPG. What? Yep. So that is apparently happening. Why do I say they are pulling a Blizzard here? Because people have been looking forward to a Mortal Kombat announcement for quite some time. And there might be, that might have been a good time to just showcase the new Mortal Kombat first before you were announcing a Mortal Kombat mobile game. But that's just me speaking. Yeah. Do you guys not have phones? Well, the phone is not the problem. It's more the quality of those games sometimes, Just that. But let's jump into the next news. This is a follow-up news regarding Bayonetta 3. So Jennifer Hale has published her own part of the whole voice acting story, and there's not really much she's saying. Here is the official announcement from her, and to be honest, she cannot say anything because she is under NDA. Yeah. She said it herself. She's under NDA, and she doesn't have the liberty to speak regarding this situation. Her job is already done. Like, she has already done all the voice acting because before she probably got aware of this. I'm very interested to hear what she has to say when the whole thing has been released. Because I would love to hear the side of her story regarding all of this. But yeah. She cannot really talk about it because of an NDA. She is saying, though, that she is supporting every actor's right to be paid well and have advocated consistently for this for the years, which she has. Again, this is why it is so flabbergasting to me that they offered the original voice actress of Bayonetta only $4,000, right? Which is laughable, absolutely laughable. And then you are getting Jennifer Hale. I was like, wait, what? Why would you? What? Weird. So yeah, she cannot really add much to the situation, but she is probably very aware, and I would love to hear her story on this. Yes. Next news. So before we jump into this, it was a silent firing. Yeah, of course. Of course. It was. You're not offering her $4,000. They wanted. We talked about this, right, yesterday. It's pretty clear that they didn't wanted the old voice actress back. It absolutely becomes clear to me there. Yep. Next news. Keep in mind, this is an update regarding the Amouranth situation. Normally, I don't put streamer drama in my stream, but we had a pretty long talk about this topic yesterday. I can assure you, this time it will not be so long. But when I start a news, I always want to keep you updated on what is happening. So that is what I'm doing here. Keep in mind, this is still a very tough topic. If you do not want to listen to that, mute the video or whatever till we are done here, or skip forward if you're watching it later on YouTube, or do something else, because there are a lot of fun things to do without taking the pressure. But this is an update regarding the Amouranth situation. As you might have heard, Amouranth herself has been married for many years, actually. A lot of people believed she was single, which she never refuted, right? But she has a husband, and that husband was unfortunately, or is unfortunately, a big piece of shit who abused her for years and had all the control over her accounts, social accounts, bank accounts. Like, he owned everything, and he was also basically owning her, because she was talking about how she wanted to go a very different way with her streaming, and the husband basically realized that, yeah, look at my bitch, she can make money with her looks. Well, then you were a bitch on stream. Husband's words, not mine. And she basically had to play the part, or he would become very violent. And this basically exploded over the weekend, because it seems like she just had enough and had the stream run when the husband had another meltdown. And then the stream did cut out, and we didn't know anything about her. So, this is what the update is about. Good news, she is well. She is well. And a lot of stuff happened. Like, a lot of people reached out to her, were like, hey, if you need, like, to get out of there and stay with me, you can do that, right? A lot of her friends. There were even, like, some lawyers in the community reaching out to her and were like, yo, like, you need me, say the word, we can figure this out. Like, especially because you don't have access to your bank account and all that. Like, don't you worry about that too much. We will figure this out. Let's talk. But interestingly enough, apparently she had another live stream yesterday, and she looked, let's just say she looked all right. There's a screenshot from a stream yesterday, and man, not too revealing closes, which, and I will explain why. She even talked about it. It seems like the husband is out of the picture, because for the very first time, it seems like that the husband saw the recording of the stream and saw his reaction on the phone, and how menacing he was. And there was apparently still a shrink of humanity inside that husband, that he realized, holy shit, I'm a human piece of garbage. Which, let's be honest here, doesn't happen often. That those people realize, like, what piece of shit they are. Like, most actually, like, are very much aware how they are treating other people, but they don't care, right? Because they are sociopaths. But good news, apparently the husband was like, fuck, I'm human garbage. And apparently he is now looking for help. She is now on her own. She has control over her bank account. Police was apparently there to check on her. Dogs are safe, and now, like, friends are keeping a tab on her, and, like, she's in contact with lawyers and all that. And she is right now, she is in a better state. She has already announced that streaming will be very spotty in the foreseeable future because she has so many things to care of that streaming, like she has to move, right? And all that. So streaming will not happen too often, which is totally understandable. But she was also kind of relieved a bit. Like, one of the things she mentioned in the video was that she can finally wear the clothes she wants to wear, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. That even that was controlled. And that she can finally just kind of can do whatever she wants to do. Right. Yeah, abusers tend to play very nice when outed. Yes. Yep. 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 So I wish her definitely the very best. It's good that she has friends who do look out for her and keep a tab on her. And she also apparently fired her cameraman because the cameraman was leeching off that situation and was trying to play friend with her, even though the cameraman basically knew about all of this and was just letting it happen and didn't bat an eye. So she also said, like, yeah, you piss off. Which, yeah, I can understand that. But I wish her the very best. I really do. I hope that she is getting her life in order and that afterwards she can finally just do whatever she wants to do and doesn't, like, here's the thing, like, if people, like we talked about this yesterday a little bit, right? If people want to put themselves out there and they want to also be not necessarily safe for work content creators, like they want to put like erotica out there, I don't have a problem with that. Look, I'm European. Like, most Europeans don't have a problem with that, except some. But like, we are not that prude. Like, you do you. But as I said before, it gets really problematic when somebody gets forced, especially when they get forced to do something they really don't want to. Or they only want to do it to a certain extent, and then they are getting pushed into the extreme. Right? This is where I have to say, yes, stop. Just stop. That's not okay. And I mentioned this yesterday. Whenever I saw clips of her, whenever I saw like videos of her, she had this dead man walking look in her eyes. And I always believed that this is because she is working 24/7, which apparently was the case, right? Like, she wanted to end so many streams so early, but the husband was like, yeah, you do that and I end you, right? So that definitely had something to do with it, that she worked beyond anything which was reasonable. But she had this look of somebody who gave up and doesn't want to do what they are there for, right? Like, I've seen this over the decades in many jobs I've been working. Like, when you meet colleagues who are just looking at you with this look of like, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do this, but I have to for whatever reason. And she had that look. And I'm really just hoping that everything will work out, that the husband will stay the hell away from her, and that she can live her life. Which brings us, unfortunately, to another edition, and this is also something we have talked about yesterday. Apparently, it was not just friends and cops who checked on her, but also random people who just showed up and were like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? You need help? Can I come in? Like, should I protect you? What's going on? I was like, what the who are you? Right? Like, we talked about this. Like, if you are a content creator and a viewer, like, we content creators do exactly what we say we do. We create content, and we hope that people enjoy this content for whatever reason. Right? Like, whatever you're doing with my content, I don't care. Right? Like, I don't care. But that's it, right? It's like, I am here for my content. You are here for my content. And I'm really hoping that is like the thing and nothing else. Like, that this is not one of those weird things where people unfortunately are getting attached to the content creators, and then they are like, oh yeah, I have a relationship with this content creators. Yes, he's my friend. Or something even crazier. It's like, whoa, no, look, just because I'm friendly to you, like, you can be kind to people even without being like friends with them, or even more, right? You're not my cousin, Mo. I don't know. That would be really awkward, because as far as I know, my mother and stuff do not have a sister or brother. That would be like 6th grade cousin. That would be weird enough. But as far as I know, no. Yeah, that would be really awkward, wouldn't it be? So, but yeah, no. Jokes aside. Oh, my bad, wrong stream. Aww. Like, don't get me wrong. I made friends through my streaming career. I had things like going through my streaming career, right? Met a lot of people, but there is still a big difference between just, you should probably be really sure that that person also sees you as a friend. And if the person says no, you don't be pissed about that. Right? So, yeah, this whole content creator connects with the audience thing, it can go very wrong very quickly. And yeah, Yeah. So, yeah. But with that said, I know it has been a pretty quick one, but I would say we are done with the gaming news. Let me do a super quick roundup here, if there's anything going on. No, there isn't. Well, besides of one thing, the DualSense Edge controller is launching on January 26. Hey, my birthday. And you will be able to pre-order. It's basically the PlayStation equivalent of the Elite controller from Xbox. But DualSense Edge controller will cost €240 and $200 because, well, ours include already tax. So if you want to buy a controller for €240, there you go. Have fun, I guess. Damn, that's crazy. But then again, I'm also not a targeted audience, so, you know. Yeah. But with that said, folks, we are done with the gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like. And if you're new to my second YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe for more daily gaming news. And make sure you are checking out my main channel, which is youtube.com/ChaosMole. Because, yay, I'm now owning ChaosMole on YouTube. Woohoo! And we're also streaming there, where this was actually recorded, from Monday to Friday, starting at 8 a.m. ET. That is 1 p.m. UK time and 2 p.m. Central European time. And we are playing A Plague Tale Requiem. We're just starting that. So make sure to check it out. With that said, stay safe. I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.